Hi guys, welcome to Money by Sunny. In this video, we'll be talking about the 10 personality types that you need to avoid if you want to achieve wealth and riches. We often hear about how we are a result of either nature or nurture. In other words, we are a product of either our origin or our surroundings in the course of our lives. In truth, it's likely a combination of the two. I found, however, that what you can expect from life has a lot to do with the people you surround yourself with. Fortunately, this is something we can control, and there are definitely some personalities that you want to avoid, as they will be speed bumps or even roadblocks on your path to financial success. Let's take a closer look at the 10 worst personality types to steer clear of. Number 1. The super spender. Common sense tells you that it's a bad idea to spend more than you make, but super spenders seem to ignore this truism. You know the type. People who spend like there's no tomorrow and never seem to save any money. They spend on everything from unnecessary items, such as expensive vehicles and high fashion clothes, to daily items like pricey food and expensive lattes. Unfortunately, super spenders tend to become super debtors as well and spend their whole life paying off loans, especially credit card debt. The common characteristic is that they tend to be impulsive buyers and make financial decisions without thinking about the consequences, which are extremely bad habits when it comes to building wealth. Number 2. The complainer or the critic. You may have come across people who complain and criticize every single thing. Well, to be honest, a few minutes of sincere criticism is good where warranted. But if one person complains all the time, then you really need to know that this person is probably causing harm to you. Because of their negativity and pessimistic point of view, they can only drag you down. Worse, perpetual critics tend to only complain without actually doing anything about the problem. What you want instead is to hang around people who take concrete steps to fix problems and provide solutions. They may still complain, but they also take action and get things done, which is undoubtedly a wealthy mindset. The secret is not to just complain and whine, but to stand up and do something. Number 3. The self-pitying victim. It may sound strange, but a victim is someone who uses bad news and misfortune to bolster their sense of righteousness. This is followed by excuses and a narrative that leads back to the past, a place where the victim assigns blame for all of the present issues. Victims act like powerless children and make lists of complaints. They find evidence that proves that the next disaster is right around the corner. As a result, they tend to often have a low opinion of themselves or be afraid, and that leads to inaction, or at least poor choices. They also tend to expect others to take care of them, or are always waiting for a savior, instead of adopting a more independent mindset. The reality is that blaming others for your problems is not going to lead to anything good. Worse, it will only make you a sitting duck for con artists or shady scammers who prey on those with low confidence. Number 4. The slacker. Remember the story of the ant and the grasshopper. The ant worked hard all summer long, storing up food for the winter. The grasshopper, on the other hand, was lazier and ate well when food was plentiful in the summer. He would then spend the rest of his time on frivolous activities rather than planning ahead for the cold winter months. When winter inevitably came and the grasshopper had nothing to eat and nothing stored, he starved to death. So why should you avoid the slacker? Because we all know the virtue of hard work and how important it is for success and wealth. Slackers will unfortunately make it that much more difficult for you to achieve economic independence. The last thing you want is to get influenced by their ways and end up relying on the generosity of others instead of taking responsibility and working hard for your own success. Number 5. The gambler or the bettor. Problems often accompany those who indulge in betting or gambling a little too often than is healthy. Spending money they do not have, betting borrowed money and losing, or losing valuables from gambling losses, and then being forced to borrow money or selling personal valuables to cover the lost money. All of these stem from the gambling mindset of seeking thrills and trying to secure a financial future by striking it lucky. They believe that even though their last 100 bets were unsuccessful, their big, life-changing win is just around the corner. As we all know, however, if you want to become rich, you should work harder and smarter than the others, not be overly reliant on any external factors, and especially not rely on luck. Worse, gamblers tend to become addicted, which just compounds the problem. It's easy to get dragged into their negative spiral if you're not careful. Number 6. The Paralyzed Analyzer. You may have heard of the term analysis paralysis, which arises when people spend so much time analyzing a situation that they fail to take any kind of action. And in this case, the stress of choice is likely to send them into a mental and economic tailspin. This is often the case for this personality type. They spend so much time thinking about all the possible outcomes and possible pitfalls that they don't take action. The sheer amount of information out there just feeds into the paralyzed analyzer's hobby of analyzing everything but not implementing anything. This tends to be even more prevalent in those who like to play it safe and avoid risks. However, some amount of risk-taking is necessary for any kind of significant growth in your wealth. As the saying goes, no risk, no reward. Number 7. The Serial Shortcutter. There are no shortcuts to wealth, period. The reason for this is that the wealthy work hard and work smart for all the wealth that they accumulate. Wealthy people have learned that there is no shortcut to success, and overnight riches are just a mirage. Serial shortcutters, however, are a misguided lot, misled by a culture that emphasizes the wrong things. In short, they are always looking for the easiest way out, and unfortunately this breeds laziness and a get-rich-quick mentality. At worst, this may even result in them resorting to shady or even illegal methods of making money. But there's just no substitute for putting in the time and effort to making money and growing wealth. Number 8. The Arrogant KnowItAll. Arrogance can and usually does backfire on people. Most people tend to assume that arrogance is a trait of wealthy and successful people. This isn't true, however, and arrogant know-it-alls will always be held back from learning new things or deepening their knowledge due to their belief that they are already experts. Instead, it's the people who stay humble and stay hungry for knowledge who will be successful. There's of course a difference between confident people and arrogant people. Those who are self-confident tend to have high self-esteem, are independent thinkers, are creative, and have a propensity to be curious. Hang around with these people instead and ditch the know-it-alls, and their positive traits will help encourage positive wealth-building activities. Number 9. The Eternal Pessimist. Pessimists are a drain on your life and your resources. They seem to be wired to bring others down, live in the past, and are unable to see opportunity in the present and future. Most of all, they are not open to new ideas, which is important when it comes to money and wealth generation. Whatever it is you are doing to make money, they will always be negative. You can bet that the Eternal Pessimist's comments usually contain some variation of "I told you so," or "that's never going to work." Does this sound depressingly familiar? So if you're trying to start a business, theirs may not be the best opinion or advice to seek out. If you are trading on the financial markets, do not show them your trades or your trading plan. Remember, the rich man's mind is full of opportunity, but the poor man's is full of obstacles and negativity. Number 10. The Flighty Butterfly. Multitaskers are usually celebrated in our society, as we marvel at their ability to juggle so many things at a time and keep so many balls in the air without letting any drop. However, multitasking taken to the extreme results in the flighty butterfly. They are usually characterized by very short attention spans, resulting in them constantly shifting from one activity or priority to another, much like how a butterfly will constantly flit from flower to flower in your garden. Flighty butterflies are also usually easily frustrated and will often give up and look for something else when confronted with obstacles because they do not like putting in the effort to overcome these challenges. However, it's just not possible to achieve anything worthwhile if you don't allocate enough time and effort to an activity. Successful people are always very focused and know that riches will only be achieved by staying the course. There you have it. Avoid these 10 personality types like the plague, and your financial future will start looking a whole lot brighter. If you like this video, please do subscribe and leave us a comment. See you next time on Money by Sunny.